Hey everyone, I'm Brandy Barnard from BrandiStamps. Excited to be here today to show you 4 awesome card designs all done with the hot air balloon stamp set. This is a newish one from Stampin' Up in our current mini catalog. So this set of cards was actually designed for my card club. This was February 2024. And so this is the video where all of my card club members will follow along and put together the card kits that I prepared for them. So if you're not part of my card club, you can use this video to see the cute designs and to learn a little bit about how my card club works. There's a link right in the description where you can get more information and add your name to my list if you'd like to check it out. I do this every single month, so it doesn't matter whether you're seeing this video soon and you could join in for March 2024, or if you're seeing it 2 years from now and you're gonna hop in then, because we do it every single month. And if you click the link, you can just get the next available card kit. So every time I pick one stamp set and make 4 cards out of it, and we only use the pieces in the set, and then my card club members are going to get to make 2 of each card design. So they will go home with 8 beautiful cards. Let's check out what the package included this time. Here's the package that my card club members each received this month. So this was for February 2024. We're using the hot air balloon stamp set, and each person paid $30 to get this kit. Inside are, of course, the card kits to make the 8 different cards, 2 of each designs. You can see a lot of die cutting has gone into this, a lot of prep, a lot of sorting. Everything is really organized and perfect, ready for you to do 8 cards with envelopes. And then there's always product included as well. So your $30 buys you about $20 in product as a general rule. So this is a half pack of the 3-color glimmer paper. This is one of the online exclusives right now, and it has like a teal color plus this pink and the purple you can see here. I've already cut some die cuts here for our club members. You can see them right here in the card 1 pack. So I cut those 2 out and then put the paper back in here. All of this glimmer paper is going to either be used on the cards or left over to use on another project. There will be lots left over. Same with these. This is the awesome new rainbow adhesive back dots. We'll use some of these to make the cards, but then there will be lots left over as well. And then everybody got a full roll of our linen thread. So that's about $20 in product plus 8 card kits, and hopefully you guys feel that like that's a great value to get all of that for $30. Now, in advance, I told everyone what stamp set I was going to be using, and some people may have ordered it to prepare. Others might use a set that they already have, and either of those is fine. So in this stamp set, there are 12 different pieces. We're going to use almost every single piece as we go through and make the different cards. So you'll want to get that out, mount it all on its blocks. And then the ink colors that I am using today are Sweet Sorbet, Blueberry Bushel, Pool Party, and Highland Heather. I told my card club members these colors in advance so that they'd be able to get them ready, or totally fine if they have any blue, purple, lighter blue, and red, just whatever colors they have on hand are absolutely fine too. One of the goals of Card Club is that you get your stuff out and use what you have so that you can make beautiful creations. So you can kind of follow along with the designs I've done, but use the stamps and inks that you have. You're always going to want some things like basics. The paper trimmer is one thing we pretty much always use. I always use Seal Plus to attach all of my cards together. I always recommend mini glue dots. I use these quite a bit as well. And then both sizes of our Stampin' Dimensionals, the mini and the regular. These are all kind of basic supplies that we often use. And this time I also used my multi-purpose liquid glue. So break that stuff out and let's get started stamping. One of the first things you're going to want to do is take out the glimmer paper that I've given you, cut 2 pieces of the purple that are 3.5 by 4.5. You'll want 2 of those, 1 for each card. And then from the teal glimmer paper, cut 2 pieces that are 3.5 by 4. So 3.5 by 4.5, 3.5 by 4. And these ones go in card 3, so we'll tuck those over there. These ones go with card 2. Here are the pieces to make card number 1, and you of course will have everything to do 2 cards. I'm just going to do 1 here in our video today. So let's start with a little bit of Seal Plus. This is my card base. It's folded here at the top. This is a thick basic white. I'm going to roll a line of Seal Plus just kind of about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom of the card. I want it to go all the way across there. And then we will lay the Pool Party Crinkle ribbon. I just gave you this little piece of this ribbon. It's from the Celebration options, which is fun. And we will just stick that right down to the ribbon. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to smush it down too hard because you'll kind of kill the crinkly look. So just kind of gently tap it all over to get it to attach down. And then we'll use a nice pair of sharp scissors to cut this off flush with the edge of the card. Okay, for the next step, we will attach this Pool Party piece to the card front, and it's gonna go up above the ribbon. Okay. Now let's stamp this little strip. This is where our greeting is going to go. We'll stamp in Blueberry Bushel, and the saying says, "Up, up, and away, hooray, it's your birthday." We want it kind of off to the left side, but not all the way over. Great. And then let's use a few dimensionals to attach this to the card. And I want you to watch how I'm laying these. I'm laying them so they overlap the ribbon just a tiny bit because this is going to hold the greeting up, but it's also going to hold that little piece of ribbon in place. So we're kind of doing double duty. So I put a couple that overlap that Pool Party piece and a couple down here to overlap the strip. Peel these. And this should pretty much be the same length as your card. Just line it up right on here. I'm using my grid sheet to help me see that I'm getting it straight. I don't want to cover up the ribbon too much because that's a cute, fun detail. Let's put it on about like this. I did it that way just so I wouldn't smear the ink I just barely stamped. Okay, now this little hot air balloon is going to go on the front of the card, kind of right about here. Let's use some dimensionals to attach this as well. Maybe about 3, right about here. We're going to add a couple clouds. These have been cut with the dies that come with this same stamp set. And I'll use a couple of glue dots on these. I want them to have just a tiny bit of dimension. Not tons, but some. I'll have that one kind of go behind the balloon and off the edge of my blue. And then we've got this kind of bigger one as well. Put it all the way over close to the right edge of the card. That kind of go right against the balloon there. And now I have a couple of other details to add. This is our basket where someone would ride, and our little row of flags, and this is where my multi-purpose liquid glue comes in. Okay, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue onto a scrap of white. This is a pretty little cloud, but it was an extra and I don't need it. The littlest bit of glue on there. Now the reason I did this is because I want to put a little glue on the edge of this basket piece, but oh my goodness, it is so narrow. So I wanted to be able to come over and just kind of scrape up the littlest bit of glue. I mean, you probably can't even see that on the video, but it's just the tiniest little lip of glue. And I'm going to get a little bit on the bottom of my basket too. And then I can just attach this carefully. So I want it to be right about here and right about here. So it's going to stick down to my glitter balloon and stick down to my greeting strip and hold that in place. Now the little row of flags is a little easier. If you just do teeny tiny dots, that'll work fine. Got 5 cute little dots on there. And I just want the flags to kind of swoop across the balloon right about here. The liquid glue is nice to glue up to the glimmer paper because it has a lot of texture, and so getting regular adhesives to stick down to it might not be super easy. Now for our finishing touch, this is the little rainbow adhesive backed dots, and I'm going to just come in. You can use your take your pick tool or little piercer or whatever works best for you. I'm just using the tip of my paper snips at the moment. I hold the dot down, I get the tip of the snips under it, and then I carry it over and just attach those where I want them. And there we go, that's card number 1. I often stamp my envelopes. I didn't on these ones just because, I don't know, there weren't a lot of extra images and stuff, but maybe I'll throw this on just for fun. Bonus video material. We'll say up and away, it's your birthday on the envelope. So ta-da, card 1. Here are all the pieces for card number 2. Again, of course, you're doing 2 of them, but I'm just going to put 1 together on our video. I've got a crumb cake card base folded along this edge, and the first piece that I want to attach is this layer of basic gray. So I'll just use some Seal Plus. This is my very favorite paper-to-paper adhesive. It rolls so easy. It stops so easy. It holds so well. It is magic. Okay, I've got that layer. Anything like thicker, curly, this has got like a curve to it. Seal Plus is gonna hold this down with no problem at all. So I'll tilt this one the other way. We're kind of going back and forth with the little tilties on here. Now I've got my punched out clouds. This is just from our cloud punch in the regular catalog. And I'm going to adhere these with mini glue dots. Again, the mini glue dots hold really well down to glimmer paper. And so I definitely wouldn't use anything besides this or possibly the liquid glue to do this. And anytime I'm trying to stamp onto a die cut piece, I'm going to lay the die cut onto a nice contrasting piece. This is white, so I've got black down here, and I'm going to use my Pool Party ink and stamp. But the point of this is if I'm stamping after it's already die cut, which actually is my preferred way if I've got a photopolymer set, I'm going to want to carefully line this up. Okay, so there's that piece. And then we're also going to stamp Wish Big, and that'll go right on this cute little banner piece. This is one of the pieces in the stamp set, and you can see that it lines up perfectly onto the cute little hot air balloon. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and go crazy with the envelope too. Wish Big. To put this card together, we're going to use mostly Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's use a little bit of Seal Plus to attach the words to our balloon. I think this is so cute how it lines up. Perfect. And then when I put the dimensionals on here, I'm going to overlap them where it goes paper to paper. That's just an extra insurance policy, making sure that that's going to hold. And then this little die cut basket is just big enough to hold one of our regular dimensionals. So I'll make sure I fit that carefully. I want the balloon to be straight, so like the card has lots of tilting happening. The balloon will be the one thing that's on here straight. So let's attach it like that. And the little basket, I just want those prongs to kind of touch the balloon. The dimensional's what's really holding that on. We'll cut 12 inches of linen thread. And if it's really curly, you can just bring a fingernail down it. And then I'm just going to thread it back behind there. See how I made the linen thread go behind that left prong? Now I'll tie a knot just to hold it so I don't have to worry about it flying off. And then I'll tie a nice little bow. I do that by taking the one that is pointing down. So after you've made a knot, grab the one that goes downward, make a loop. Now take the other one and wrap behind. As long as you always do it that way, you should be able to get the type of bow where the loops are on top and the tails are on bottom. This is way bigger than I want it, so I'll put teeny tiny. Make sure again that it's nice and tight. If you struggle with this, you can always put a glue dot behind the linen thread as well to hold that on. Now let's pull these downward. They'll go almost all the way off the edge of the card there. And this adorable pack of dots has so many different fun colors, and there's a purple that almost exactly matches this fresh freesia, but I actually used more of this pinky shade and did a few of those, and it kind of blended in and made it look really nice, gave it another interesting tone. And there we go. Card number 2. Here are all the pieces for card number 3. This one is probably the most involved of all of them. I'm going to start with this little pool party label right here. So let's bring that over. We're going to stamp the greeting. It says, "Just a note to lift you up." And I want it all the way down in the lower right corner. That means not in this corner, but down in this corner. So ink that up and stamp it right there. And basically on this piece, I'm going to work from the bottom up. So the next thing that I want are a couple of the little baskets. So the stamp is right here. I'm going to tuck one of them. I want the bottom of the basket right above the word "you." And then the other one we'll have down here kind of more by the word "just" and lower. So I want the two of them floating in different spots. And now I've got this little stamp that just has the 3 stripes. Just like that. We're also going to stamp this little stamp that has the 4 stripes. And let's put that one onto the die cut. So again, I've got my die cut onto a darker background. Fun. And while I'm at it, let me show you guys. I did something a little bit different here by doing a blue striped one and a red striped one to float together on this card. But the actual stamps actually work together. So let's stamp this red one on the envelope. And then we'll go back to this one with the 3 stripes and the pool party. And we'll put that right in the spaces, just like that. Then we can add the basket to our envelope too. That'll be cute. So you can kind of see 2 different ways to use it. You can make a skinnier balloon and a fatter balloon, or you can make a single striped balloon. Let's take a look at this card base. This is a Sweet Sorbet piece of cardstock. It was 4 1/4 by 11. It's been folded in half this direction. And then you've got this extra score line right here, which makes this card into a bookbinding card. We're going to actually roll some adhesive right here by the fold and stick that part down permanently. So now this card just opens like this and has that cool bookbinding look. Okay, while we're working on this, let's put our piece for the inside. This one is almost square, so it's 4 1/4 by 4. So you're going to try it both ways and make sure, oh, yep, here's the way it goes, so that I have a cute frame all the way around there. There we go. Now I've got this extra little strip, which is going to go right on the book binding. We're going to do a little bit of stamping on this first. And what I did is use this little stripey stamp. This is one way to stamp some stripes onto your hot air balloon. But for this, I'm going to stamp a whole row of these stripes. So I'm going to go all the way up the right edge and see how I'm rotating the direction of the stamp. And then let's flip it around. And we'll just do that again. I'll let them fit together kind of like a puzzle in the middle, but I'm going to be covering up that middle section. And so we'll just get the illusion of stripes going all the way up that piece. So here's the ribbon that we're using. This is the red and gold dotted ribbon. This is one of our online exclusives. So that means this product is not pictured anywhere in a catalog. If you go online into my store, go to BrandiStamps.com and click shop. Just click the bubble that says online exclusives and you will see a whole section of product there. This is one of them. This glitter paper is another one. And honestly, as time goes on, they're adding more and more and more stuff to that section. So that's something you want to keep an eye on. Now here we go. We've got our row of ribbon. It's going to go just like this. I'm not going to glue it down the front. I'm going to flip to the back and put some Seal Plus here. And let that tail go there. I'm going to put some Seal Plus here and let that tail go here. And I'm going to use some mini glue dots. I like to put one in each corner. So now I've got mini glue dots here and here. Let's fold that one in so that it'll stay. Here and here, and then I put a couple in the middle. This ribbon has some extra height to it, and so I need some adhesive that has height as well, which is what the mini glue dots offer. So now I can take this strip and just line it up and adhere it right here on top of the bookbinding part of this card. And it'll stick really nice, be there forever, and hold perfectly. Now I'm going to want 12 inches of linen thread. And I will just wrap it right here behind this red and gold ribbon. And I'm going to just tie a basic bow. I'll do it the exact way I just did it for card 2. I'm going to cinch this so it keeps looking pretty. I can tie it a second time since that's going to give a little resistance. I'll do a double knot here so that that won't let go. And then I still do the same formula. Whichever one is lower, make the loop. Use the other one to wrap behind, not in front. And then just, that bow's gonna be big and ugly at first. We'll just tug these ends down, pull these loops tight, tug and pull, back and forth until you like how that ribbon is looking. And then we can trim these ends. Okay, the glimmer paper is going to adhere right here. Now I saw a lot of the people who made the cards at my house sticking it this way because it has a nice frame all the way around. The piece actually should go this way. It should go the tall direction. So there's only a little bit of the sweet sorbet showing at the top and bottom, and you have wider gaps on the side. So make sure and stick it that way. And now I want this piece to glue across the glimmer paper. I'm going to use glue dots right at the edge again. Same reason, because I've got a little extra height from that glimmer paper. And I want the edge of this pool party tag to stick directly down to the sweet sorbet cardstock. And so to sort of bridge that gap, I need the height of these glue dots. And it doesn't hurt to put a couple in the middle as well. They stick nicely to the glimmer texture. And this is going to go lower than higher, so something like this. And then I will stick my striped balloon down with some dimensionals. And I've got this tiny little basket that I have die cut out with the distressed gold paper. And it's just the right size where one of our baby dimensionals, the mini dimensionals, will fit right here. And now, of course, we'll add just a few of our little gems. And this is card number 3. Okay, here are the cardstock pieces for card number 4. This is our very last one. I wanted to do something a little bit different on this card. I had stamped those balloons over and over onto the die cuts, and I thought I would try stamping just onto cardstock. And so that's where I came up with the idea for this little night sky hot air balloon. I think that would be so fun and romantic to ride a hot air balloon at night. I don't even know if it's legal though. I swear I've never seen one at night, but maybe because that's dark, I don't know. Okay, so what we're gonna do is stamp the balloon up high, close to this edge. It's just slightly off to the left, and we'll give it pressure all over. See how the balloon has that space? On one of our other cards, we gave it the banner, but on this one, we'll use one of the other pieces in the set. This is kind of a little decorative stripe piece. And we're gonna wanna work a little bit to get this one lined up the best we can. Right about there. And then we want to add the basket too. Just like that. Okay, so the other pieces that I've provided include these little cloud layers, and we're going to add these down below. While I have my ink out, let's pull out this little strip. It's going to say, hang in there. So that's another one of the fun greetings in this set. They always match up so well with the images, the kinds of things that fit. We're gonna hang in there. And how many of your friends need to be told, you're there for them, you're thinking of them, you know things are tough, hang in there. Okay, so let's jump over to these clouds now. So what you're gonna do is decide where you want your cloud piece to be. So I think I like the basket to go right down into this little dip. And so let's roll some Seal Plus onto the blueberry bushel down low. And then I'll just lay the clouds on here. It doesn't even have to be straight. It could be tilted a little bit, whatever you wanna do. And then I'm going to flip to the back and use my paper snips to trim this out so it's flush. So get a nice straight edge there. This is easiest if you look at the back and if you're using Stampin' Up paper snips. They are designed for this type of trimming. Okay, so now I have a second layer of clouds. This is really just a piece of white, and I had cut it with the Basic Borders dies, cut it with the Basic Borders dies to give you these cool cloud pieces. Now, I don't want to line it up exactly. That doesn't look natural. I'm going to come over here and line up these clouds in an unexpected way. So we'll let it overlap a little bit there, something like this. So let's roll the adhesive down low on the front, and then stick this on right where we like it, something like that, and trim it off. I did this piece extra big so you have lots of creativity. You can do this just how you want. Now let's prepare our little hang in there. This end is going to have what I call a banner cut. It'll just look like a V. I'm starting by going to the end of the piece, and I'm going to the middle and cutting in just like 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little less. Now I go from one corner up to the top of my cut and from the other corner to the top of the cut again, and I get that nice even banner cut. Now you can try to freehand that, but you'll probably end up doing it and redoing it because it has a tendency to look crooked. Okay, so now you'll cut 12 inches of ribbon again. If you didn't notice, all the pieces of linen thread that you're using from your roll are all 12 inches. That made it easy to remember. And I'm going to come from the back here and wrap this. So kind of wrapped it around 3 times. And now I'm tying a knot. In fact, a double knot, because again, I want it to stay. And then let's see, how do I want the bow on this one? Let's do it this way. So I want it to kind of sit sideways with the greeting. So this is the lower one. I'm going to make the loop with that one and wrap around in the back, make my shoelace knot, and then I'll just kind of pull this smaller until I like how it looks. Tighten it up. And maybe don't want the ends quite as long on this one, still a little bit floaty. I love how the linen thread kind of has a real texture to it. When it streams out, it's got those lines that'll kind of stay instead of just lagging down. And now we're ready to assemble this card. So we'll start with the Fresh Freesia card front. It's got the fold off to the left, so this is kind of a basic standard card. We'll do the pool party layer next, and we'll just use regular Seal Plus to adhere it. It's going to be spaced evenly on all sides, except the right, like the opening edge. On that edge, we'll go all the way flush with the edge of the card. And then you should have equal space the rest of the way. Now this layer will do the same thing. It should fit just like that again, but on this one I'm going to do dimensionals. Make sure we know this is our highlight piece. So one in the middle so the center doesn't sag, and then of course all the corners. And we'll just make sure we're centered top to bottom with that pool party. And adhere that. Now this little guy is going to go on with Stampin' Dimensionals as well. This piece is just about the right width to use the regular dimensionals, or if you want to, you could reach for the minis. Make sure it's straight with the edge of that white piece. We've got 3 die cut stars here. They're from the Give It a Whirl die set. And so these 2 pieces here are not cut with the dies that actually coordinate with this hot air balloon, but they just looked so good. They have the great stitches and of course the cloud images and things that work and make sense. Making sure my glue dot fits just right on this baby star. It's just about the same size as the little star. And by the way, if you had trouble lining up this strip and one edge is poking out or anything like that, these little stars will help you hide that. You can put them up closer to the balloon. Just kind of put it right over that funky edge and then it'll be hidden. And now let's go to our cute little dots. On this one, I did some decorating on the hot air balloon itself. So let's do kind of the freesia. I'm putting these right over the top of the dots that are already here on the stamped image. So it's got a guide there for where these are gonna go. So I just kind of went purple, blue, pool party. Okay, that one is card number 4. Let's pull in all of the cards that we did today. Oh my goodness, this was such a fun set of cards. I hope you loved making these along with me. If you haven't tried out my stamp club, I hope you will check it out. It's a great value. We make beautiful things every single month. You get a great package in the mail where you'll get to make all the fun new designs that I've created. So click the link in my description and join us. And for those of you who are in Card Club, thank you for being my best friends and fun stamping buddies, and I will see you next month. Have a good one.